Hi, and welcome to That's Ruddy Mysterious, a podcast of short tales about true mysteries. What happened to the Flannan Isles Lightkeepers? Who was responsible for the Gardner Museum heist? I'm not going to solve those mysteries, but they'll be interesting to learn about. I'm your host, Kelly with an I. Transcripts for all episodes can be found at that'sruddymysterious.wordpress.com. No apostrophe and no exclamation point. Today's tale is about the 1916 Traub Motorcycle. In 1967, a plumber near Chicago was doing work on a home when he found something spectacular. Entombed behind a wall of the home was a motorcycle. But not like any motorcycle ever seen before. It wasn't just unique, it was still in perfect running condition. The only things that were needed were some air in the tires and a good cleaning. How did the motorcycle end up behind the wall of a house? The house's former owner says his son stole the motorcycle in 1916. The father said he was so angry that he forced his son to enlist to get him back on the right track. The son died in World War I. The man said he didn't know how the motorcycle ended up where it was, but it was reasonable to assume that the son had put it there to hide it. Strangely, the motorcycle was never reported as stolen. Not only was the motorcycle obviously built by hand, but it was long ahead of its time. It had a twin braking system combined with a single cam system that is still not seen in motorcycles today. It had an 80-inch engine. Harley-Davidson didn't start using this size engine until 1999. It was also 1,278 cubic centimeters, which was a size that wasn't common anywhere until the 1960s. The typical engines of the time would have been 500 to 745 cc. It also moved very fast, topping out at 85 miles per hour. Gottlieb Richard Traub was born on March 23, 1883, and died on December 16, 1952. His draft card listed his profession as self-employed experimental machinist. His 1910 census information listed him as living in Chicago, not too far from where the motorcycle was eventually found. Traub was a motorcyclist and a machinist. He owned the Richard Traub Motorcycle Shop. In 1907, the magazine Motorcycle Illustrated published the following letter written by Traub. Dear Sir, please find the enclosed picture and specifications of a motorcycle made by myself throughout, engine and all. I worked on this cycle about 1 year, putting in the time only between 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. I also worked on Sundays. Its specifications are wheelbase 55 inches, tank capacity 3.5 gallons gasoline, 1 gallon oil, sufficient for 125 miles. Power, 4 horsepower, bore and stroke 3.25 by 4 inches. Auxiliary gasoline tank 1/2 gallon. Speed more than the roads will stand. Perfect grip control. Throttle and spark motor is geared 3 3/4 to 1. It has a cycle chain with washers and does good service. Has never troubled me yet, and I rode all of 1,500 miles. The letter was postmarked from Chicago, not far from where the motorcycle was eventually found. The letter certainly seems to fit the motorcycle found entombed behind the wall perfectly. After discovery, the motorcycle changed hands several times. First, it was given to a motorcycle dealer, Torello Tachi, in exchange for a $700 Suzuki. Tachi restored the motorcycle to perfect condition. In 1972, Bud Elkins, Steve McQueen's stuntman, bought it. Elkins sold the motorcycle to Richard Morris, who in turn sold it to Dave Wachsler. Wachsler is owner and founder of the Wheels Through Time Museum. The motorcycle is still ridden regularly today. Wachsler took the engine apart to fix a worn-out connecting rod bushing. He said the components inside were great and obviously handmade. He said the only gasket he needed to fabricate was the base gasket, as there were no other gaskets in the engine, which could be part of the reason it still ran so well right out of the wall. Wachsler said the engineering and fabrication was long ahead of its time. Wachsler explained how they were able to determine the year in which the bike was made. He said he needed to replace a few off-the-shelf parts, and the replacement parts needed were all from 1916. How did the 1916 Traub motorcycle end up behind the wall of a house in the Chicago suburbs? Who really built the motorcycle? And how was it so far ahead of its time? If someone really did steal the motorcycle from Gottlieb Richard Traub, why didn't he ever report it as stolen? It must have been valuable. How did a motorcycle that sat behind the walls of a home for 50 years still run perfectly well once found? What do you think? Thanks for listening to today's episode of That's Ruddy Mysterious. I'm your host, Kelly with an I. Tune in next Tuesday for another thought-provoking tale.